Good afternoon, 6-4 parents. Mr. Hagedorn here with our weekly update. A couple quick announcements. Report cards went home this past Monday, so you should have seen report cards on Monday from your child. If not, you can ask them. They are also always updated in Power School, so you can be checking Power School to see those grades as well. No school on Tuesday. Get out and vote. That's why we don't have school Tuesday. In Math 6, we started our study guide today. Sorry, I'm switching up classes. Started our study guide today. We'll finish that up on Monday. And then we'll have our quiz on Wednesday. We'll then move on to three-dimensional shapes and start talking about pyramids and prisms and making nets and finding the surface area of those shapes. In Math 6 Plus, we just finished up our first 7th grade unit yesterday on scale drawings. We started our dividing fractions unit, which doesn't actually have anything to do with dividing fractions for the first week. We talked about prime and composite numbers today and prime factorization. Next week, we're going to start talking about least common multiples, greatest common factors, and then we'll get into a little bit of equivalent fractions and some real basic fraction stuff before we move on to dividing. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
Hey there, hope everybody had a good Halloween. This week we have in ELA, we've been talking about the Middle Ages. We read excerpt 1 and the kids wrote a summary on it, which was basically just a basic summary of some of the adversities in the Middle Ages experienced by the serfs, the peasants, the lords and ladies, the knights. We have moved into excerpt 2, which is more of a focus on what life was like in towns. They're going to be writing a summary of that one next week more independently. The first one was more, I really kind of scaffolded it a lot for them. This next one is going to be more independent. Then our mid-unit assessment is also going to be probably next week, either Thursday or Friday. I'll have to send out a text message about that to let you know the exact date. And then we're also soon going to be starting our research for our Unit 1 essay, which is going to be on, basically the kids are going to choose either serfs and peasants or lords and ladies, and they're going to write an essay about the adversities experienced by that group of people during the Middle Ages. That's all I got for you. Have a wonderful weekend.
All right, everybody. We just got through our second week of this unit of waves. So we've really spent a lot of time the last 2 weeks talking about mechanical versus EM waves, and then looking at the two wave movements, transverse and longitudinal. Next week, and actually for the next 2 weeks, we're going to spend some time learning just about sound. So what we'll do is, after we got these big general things out of the way, we're going to pick the biggest mechanical wave, which is sound, and we're going to spend a week and a half-ish just on sound. We're going to be doing sound stations for 2 days, and then we're going to be creating instruments for 2 days. So we're going to be talking about frequency, pitch, and how to alter those things with manipulation of the waves, and those tying it back to what we just done these past 2 weeks. But we first week of 2 weeks of sound, and other than that, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I heard it's supposed to get a little cold again, though. A little chilly.
All right, friends, social studies-wise, we are well into our unit number 3, which is on religion, culture, and tradition. We got the culture, tradition, and basic understanding out of the way, and now we're starting to get into the kind of ancient polytheistic religion traditions. And the interesting thing is, yesterday, All Hallows Eve, has ticks all three of those boxes. It has religious aspects to it, it has cultural aspects to it, it has traditional aspects to it. So we took a little break and we talked a little bit about the history of Halloween, Samhain, as it was known originally, and talked a little bit about that. We're also talking about some Greek polytheism. We're talking about some Egyptian polytheism. We're going to get into mummies a little bit on Monday. And then as we've kind of finished off our conversation around these polytheistic traditions, we're going to then get into the 5 big world religions that are around today. We'll talk about Hinduism and Buddhism, and then we'll also talk about our big monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So that's kind of where we'll be going for the next probably 2 more weeks, maybe a week and a half. We'll kind of see how things go and how fast we get things done. If you have any questions, any concerns, please let us know. If not, we'll see you next week.